Hate crimes against minority groups in Los Angeles are on the rise. So far this year, there have been 349 cases reported, putting us on track to set a new record. This, according to a new USC report. In Sacramento, lawmakers from both sides of the aisle gathered today to take a stand against this spike. Our Daniela Pardo has more on a new initiative focused on curbing hate in tonight's Sacramento Snapshot.
A group of bipartisan leaders and lawmakers are saying enough is enough.
Hate has no place.
Today, they announced a new effort called the Act Against Hate Alliance as a response to the rise in hate crimes we've seen during the last couple years.
Hate crimes in California are at their highest levels in over 2 decades.
According to the FBI, there were more than 8,000 hate crimes in 2020, which is 1,000 more than the previous year, and over 60% of those were race-related. California State Treasurer Fiona Ma says stopping hate crimes requires a collective effort.
This is not a partisan issue. It is east, west, south, north. It is the whole state of California. We've seen over 1,700 hate crimes happening in all communities across the state.
Last year, the state legislature allocated $166 million to the Asian and Pacific Islander Equity Budget, which is a 3-year investment centered around addressing the rise in hate towards the AAPI community. This year, the state also distributed $30 million to organizations like the Act Against Hate Alliance that are part of the Stop Asian Hate movement.
Asian Americans tend to be a little bit more quiet. We don't typically come out and, do the rallies and the protests. And so having more money infused into the community, empowering our community members to come out, form, rise up, speak up, and protect our communities has been really, really helpful.
The Act Against Hate Alliance will be holding events and educational programs throughout the year focused on finding solutions to end hate in California. Fighting for a seat at the table. That's what dozens of fast food workers from across California came to do at the Capitol this week. They're advocating for Assembly Bill 257, which would create a council that would be responsible for improving working conditions and wages for the more than 500,000 people in California who work at fast food restaurants.
That's important for me, to be able to have a voice, to be able to give my opinion of what's really going on, the things that we need, our protection, health, better wages.
Evelyn Barrillas is a single mother of 4 from the San Fernando Valley and has worked in the fast food industry for more than 21 years. She's one of dozens of employees who travel to Sacramento to send a message to Governor Newsom and state legislators.
What we want is for our voices to be set on the table, for our respect. Respect is the main key for everybody.
Demonstrators like Evelyn and Sandro Flores marched in triple-digit heat and spent the night outside the state capitol in hopes of emphasizing how much the passage of this bill means to them.
With AB 257, it will create more programs, it will create more awareness, and hopefully it will create a standard that we can be proud as a society.
If the bill makes it out of the legislature and is signed by Governor Newsom, the state will be required to create a 13-member council made up of fast food workers, union reps, fast food industry officials, and officials with the state's health and labor agencies.
And Daniela joins us now live from Sacramento. A lot of passion around this legislation. What is next for the bill, and what are some of the concerns that have been raised by opponents?
Yeah, it passed the Appropriations Committee in the Senate. That's a big deal. That's a tough committee to get through. From there, it goes to the Senate floor for a vote, and then a final vote needs to take place in the Assembly within the next couple weeks. And then once it passes that final hurdle in the legislature, it goes to the governor's desk. All bills have 2 weeks exactly to make it out of the legislature. Now, opponents like the California Restaurant Association, as well as people who own franchises, they're concerned about losing control when it comes to decisions having to do with benefits, hiring, and pay of employees. They also say that the state should focus on enforcing the laws that are already in place to protect workers, and that they don't need to spend the money on a new council. But people like Sandro and Evelyn, who you heard from, say that a council is needed because they currently don't have someone that they can go to when they're mistreated or when something happens to them. They feel like having someone on a council is a step towards gaining respect and dignity, which is what they say all of this is about for them.
Daniela Pardo, really appreciate you keeping us up to speed on all things happening in our state's capital. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex.